people, in this video we want to look at post-operative care for LSCS, okay, that is lower segment cesarean section, how to care for it after it has been done. So basically we look at what can be done on day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5 and day 6, and then discharge, okay. So discharge means what? Discharge from hospital, not discharge like vaginal discharge or something. Okay, so basically, so far where are we? We have looked at what cesarean section is, we have looked at the types of cesarean section, indications, etc. In this we are looking specifically at lower segment cesarean section, what exactly it is, what is lower segment cesarean section, which is very commonly done. We will do an abdominal incision like a Fenton steel, then a uterine incision on the lower segment, that's why it's called lower segment cesarean section, right? And we looked at pre-operatively how will they prepare for this cesarean, then exactly what is the procedure, right? Incision you will make on the abdomen, then you will make a peritoneal incision, then muscle incision, that is the uterine muscle incision, right? Then how will you deliver the head of the baby, then how will you deliver the trunk of the baby, then how will you deliver the placenta and membranes, okay? This is how they are delivering the head, using the hand like a fulcrum, is it? And then after all this, how will you suture the wound? So you will suture the wound in layers, right? 3 layers. The first layer for the deeper muscles, continuous suture. Then the second layer for the superficial muscles, again continuous suture. And the third layer for the peritoneum, right? After doing all this, you will close the abdomen in layers again. Then we have come to post-operative care. So now we are talking about post-operative care. How will you care for the patient day 0, okay? On the day of cesarean, right? So after the cesarean. So basically you will observe the patient. You will have to monitor her vitals, pulse, BP, how is the uterus behaving, is it involuting, right? It has to go back. It has to contract and go back to its pre-pregnancy state. It should start going. Then amount of vaginal bleeding you'll have to check, right? You have done a cesarean, but you're looking for what? Vaginal bleeding, remember. Then you will continue fluids like sodium chloride, ringer lactate. The drip is continued for up to, at least you will give 2 to 2.5 liters of these solutions, interesting. And if they are anemic mothers, you'll have to give blood transfusion, right? So that you can speed up the recovery. Also, if it is required, if the blood loss during the surgery has been more, you'll have to give blood. In a cesarean section, how much blood can a woman lose? Around half liter to 1 liter, okay? Then you may have to give oxytocin to this person. Why? Or methergin. Why? So you want the uterus to contract, right? So for that you can give oxytocin, methergin, etc. Then you will give prophylactic antibiotics like cephalosporins, etc., metronidazole. So this is given only when indicated, they are saying. Therapeutic antibiotic is given when indicated. Okay, anyways, you should maintain sterile environment during cesarean so that there is no infection, etc. And antibiotic prophylaxis may be given like cephalosporins, etc. Analgesics you may have to give in the form of pethidine hydrochloride. Pethidine is what? Is it a opioid analgesic? Yes, it is a synthetic opioid, pethidine. You can see here it's an opioid analgesic because she has had surgery. So you're giving an opioid analgesic, remember. This is a synthetic opioid, okay. Now, ambulation, the patient can get up and go to, she can go to evacuate her bladder, etc. She can even sit on the bed, they are saying, right? And she's encouraged to move her legs and ankles and she should take deep breaths so that she can reduce thrombosis and pulmonary embolism, right? So these two are bad things. So she's encouraged to move her legs. So if you don't move your legs, what will happen? Deep vein thrombosis can be there. The thrombus can go and cause an embolism, which could be fatal, right? So it is very important to move the legs while on the bed, right? Then you will feed the baby when you will put the baby to the breast for feeding after 3 to 4 hours when the mother is stable and relieved of pain. But I think this is more like within 1 hour, isn't it? Just check that. This is kind of doubtful. I do not think it is 3 to 4 hours. What will the baby do till then? It will wait. Just check this, okay? Within 1 hour of cesarean. But it is very difficult to feed. I understand that also, okay? Now coming to day 1, day 2, day 3 and etc. Let's look at day 1. Day 0 over, guys. Just can you recap day 0? Day 0 basically you gave her a lot of antibiotics, oxytocics, antibiotics, analgesics, fluids, Then you told her to move her leg, and then she can go to empty her bladder and then breastfeed, right? Basically, you want to avoid what? Deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, etc. Now we are moving on to day 1. So oral feeding she can take. This is for the mother, isn't it? In the form of plain or electrolyte water or raw tea may be given. Active bowel sounds are observed by the end of the day. So then she should move her bowel. Or you will at least look for the active bowel sounds they are saying. Then, solid diet is given only on, light solid diet is given on the patient's choice. Okay, they're starting solid diet only on day 2, guys. And that too light. Then, how to care for the bowel? 2 to 4 teaspoons of lactulose. So they do not want her to have constipation, is it? What is lactulose? This lactulose they are also talking about in liver disease. But anyways, lactulose is more for bowel movement. So here they are talking about giving lactulose so that if the bowel doesn't move spontaneously. Then coming to day 5, day 6, okay, where is day 3, day 4? This 3 to 4 teaspoons has come off in the middle, but otherwise it is not day 3, day 4. Day 5, day 6, basically they are saying the abdominal skin stitches are removed. So you have to remove these abdominal skin stitches, because these are non-absorbable sutures they would have used. Then they are removing the transverse first and then the longitudinal. Interesting, right? So they are not removing the sutures at one go. 2 days just for removal of sutures. Wow. And then you will discharge the patient on the following day following the removal of stitches. Okay, if she is otherwise fit. Patient may be discharged as early as 3rd to as late as 7th post-operative days. So some 3 to 7 days at least she will have to be in the hospital, right? So as early as 3rd she can go home, etc. And once she goes, she'll have to follow advices just like the vaginal delivery they are given. Okay. What advice do they give after vaginal delivery? Hygiene. So that's it, guys. We have looked at post-operative care for lower segment cesarean section. This completes cesarean and lower segment cesarean section videos. Hope you have learned something, guys. Bye bye.